to run their electrical wire producing company. Also ahead, group of teachers aggrieved in the lower and upper Manya Krobo up in arms over the failure of NAT to allocate lands to them despite thousands of payments made.
So our main demand is to get back our money. The money we have paid for the land, it was out of loans.
Still ahead on Citi Prime News, be fair and honest, the charge by outgoing Chief Justice Kwesi Eninyeboa to Judicial Service staff. A little later in the bulletin, heavy rains in Korle Nakpali, a community near Zabzugu in the northern region, leave more than 700 residents homeless and several properties destroyed.
I'm told about 16 goats were killed as a result of some of the lines that got disconnected and then executed them.
All that and more on Citi Prime News. If you do stay with us for the next 60 minutes, Citi Prime News is live across the country on Premier FM 100.5 in Takrady and Beach, 105.5 FM in Takrady, both in the Western region. If you are listening to us in the Bono region, welcome to Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyane, Ashanti region, Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi, Volta region. This is Akpini Radio 96.7 MHz in Pandu and Heritage FM 107.3 in Hohoi. If you are listening to us in the northern region, your dial is Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi, Wed FM 88.3 in Zwarungu in the Upper East region, Upper West region. This is Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura, and in the Northeast region, this is Eagle FM 94.1 in Wale Wale. The Citi Prime News is live across the world on citinewsroom.com, Citi 97.3 FM on Facebook, and CityTube on YouTube. Please stay tuned in for the details.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for choosing us this hour. This afternoon we begin from the northern region because over 60 houses in Korle Nakpali in the Zabzugu district of the region have been destroyed following a heavy rainstorm that hit the area on Wednesday evening. In all, over 700 residents have been displaced and are being housed by family members. In an interview with Citi News, the district chief executive for Zabzugu, Ahmed Abubakari Adakwa, said the assembly is liaising with the affected families to make sure they receive the needed support.
Quickly, my district NADMO director dispatched some officers over there to ascertain the damage caused to houses and other properties. They came with the report that even some animals had to be hit by it. That I'm told about 16 goats were killed as a result of some of the lines that got disconnected and then executed them. So immediately after that, so it was very huge disaster. So quickly we put up a report. So yesterday the regional NADMO coordinator was here and they ascertained whatever report so far submitted to him. So he took the report to Tamale. We're now waiting to see what type of relief items that will be provided to families that are one way or the other affected by it. But assembly to also just trying to see if we can mobilize some few resources to be sent there. So far that is what I can tell you about the rainstorm at Napali. Today I called again. They said that part of their houses they don't have light. So yesterday I called my district NETCO director who happened to be in Tamale. So he also dispatched some workers within the district NETCO office to go there and look at the damage so far caused. I've just received an information that part of the pylons has been damaged and they need to replace it with maybe a metal. So that is so far what we have done as an assembly, was waiting for regional NADMO directive to also assist this.
That was the district chief executive for Zabzugu in the northern region, Ahmed Abubakari Adakwa. Let's go live to the community now. Adam Abdullah is the assembly member for the area. He joins us via telephone. Mr. Abdullahi, thank you for joining us on Citi Prime News. It must be a difficult moment for residents, but tell us the state of affairs in the community after Wednesday's downpour.
Thank you. It was Wednesday. We insisted on somewhere 4 to 5. And then the rain was calm. The moment the rain come, once it's coming with air. So a lot of houses was destroyed and the stores. He just come and then pick the zinc and then broke some buildings. So it was done by plenty, uncountable, almost 50 houses above.
So that was what actually happened on Wednesday. But as we learn, a number of residents have been rendered homeless. Properties have also been destroyed. So how are residents coping with the situation? We are learning that they've been housed by some family members. Tell us about that.
What?
Asking how residents are coping with the situation. How are they dealing with the destruction?
Okay. When the accident was come, when it was come like that, people was hiding themselves from different houses. Even since that day up to date, some people are not yet get some places to locate themselves because they just destroy all their houses. So they move to their colleagues and then stay with them. So even that day itself, on that is when it was the people was come. Why would I say the people? It was disturbed plenty people because they don't know where to handle themselves and then to select. So it was disturbed too much.
Okay, so how are you helping residents who have been affected by this situation to ensure that they are out of this particular one?
I think since that day up to date, they have not received anything from any help from anybody because it was sent by office with DC so that he sent with some people to come and go around and then check. So they came and then meet me. So we was go around and then take recording everything and they took it back to him. So he said he'll also send the report to the top. So they should wait if anything. So far as anything comes, we will hear from them. But since up to date, we have not heard anything. So maybe he's also still working on it.
All right, we are grateful to you. That's Adam Abdullahi, Assembly Member for Korle Nakpali in the Zabzugu district of the Northern Region. Let's now bring in a Director of NADMO for the Northern Region for a response. He is Abdullahi, Salifu. And Mr. Salifu, thank you for joining us on Citi Prime News. I'm sure that you are aware of the destruction that has been caused by heavy rains in parts of the Northern Region. What are you able to tell us from your outfit?
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. It's happening in the Zabzugu district, specifically in Napari, a suburb of Zabzugu township. And it has affected about 781 people. Generally, about 60 houses are affected. The roof have been taken off, houses pulled down in other areas. And we have this happening in the areas of Nail Fong and then the Lemon Fong. These are the major areas that are affected by this rainstorm. And the district director of NADMO has taken the details from the communities and they have been forwarded to to me in Tamale, and I've also forwarded them to Accra for consideration. Now, if you look at the breakdown, we have about adult males as 171 people, female adults 211, male children 234, female children 159, and that sums out to 781 people. Currently, that is the situation in northern region.
Very well, but let's speak specifically in relation to the issue at Colin Akpali, where we are learning that 700 people have been displaced. And when should residents who have fallen victims to this particular flooding situation expect some form of relief from NADMO? If you say, the district NADMO office has been able to gather some information for onward assessments at the national capital.
You want to know when relief items will be sent to these places?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, I have taken up the reports, and I have written my own reports, and it has been forwarded to Accra. And Accra is yet to respond. But verbally, I have spoken with the district chief executive yesterday, and said they also put it up their best to see what they can do to support these victims. Specifically for now, that is what I can see.
So you are unable to give us specific timelines?
Specific timeline within which relief items will be forwarded to this place.
So between now and when you are able to give these affected victims some form of relief, how do you expect them to, cope with their situation?
Well, the district director of NADMO for Zapzugo has at least, we have some few mosques and churches that are used to house these people temporarily, and the district chief executive is also working out to get something to support the feed the affected people whilst waiting for Accra to respond appropriately.
But are you able to tell us in terms of casualties, if any was recorded following the heavy rains in the northern region?
Actually, for now, I don't have any casualty. What I know is houses have been ripped off and others are pulled down and other things. But we haven't had any injury as far as human beings are concerned.
All right.
Except that some animals too were taken away.
Well, we are grateful for your time, Mr.
Right.
Abdullah Salifu. He is Northern Regional Director of the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO. Let's stay a while longer on floods, and I'll take you to the Bono East region because several homes, schools, and churches have been submerged in flood waters at Techiman. The rains, which started at about 4 p.m., lasted for more than 5 hours. Let's get onto the phone lines and speak to the MCE for Techiman, Benjamin Yao Jaku. Mr. Jaku, thank you for joining us on Citi Prime News. This is what we are receiving here in Accra, that a lot of homes, as well as some other social amenities, have been submerged in flood waters in Techiman.
Yes, good afternoon, and thanks for having me. Yes, like you rightly said, this morning we have been on ground monitoring the effect of yesterday's rain in Techiman. The rain started, like you said, around 4:15 thereabouts. It lasted till around 8, 9 in the night. But it was severe in the early hours, around in about 2 hours. It was so severe with heavy storms. And that got a lot of trees, big trees, billboards within the Techiman township and its environs falling. And then so many school infrastructures got ripped off, others collapsed, churches, roofing got ripped off, some institutions, and then commercial areas like High Sense got flooded, and a lot of homes got flooded, and people were rendered homeless. Their buildings got ripped off. Currently, we have monitored public institutions, about 10 schools within Techiman Township alone that got seriously affected, having their buildings ripped off. I have not gotten reports from other smaller communities within the municipality. But to be frank with you and to summarize the whole incident, after the rain yesterday. I would say Techman has been deeply affected. And this on record, this is the first time we are experiencing such a heavy rain with serious severe storm like we experienced yesterday. We had a very serious rainstorm. And I, in my life, have never experienced such a situation within Techman before.
So if you say this is the first time you're experiencing such a magnitude of flooding in the area, what will you say accounted for the situation?
I would just say it's a natural disaster. Because if you look at the extent of which healthy trees got uprooted, and then big billboards also fell, and the collapse of certain structures, I will not say it is out of the flood, because areas that we encountered or we have witnessed on this disaster, there was no flood within the area. The government is really doing a part. We have expanded most of our drains along the highways and certain major roads, and it has really been helpful. If not, there will be a lot of flood on our major roads, but we did not experience that extent. But like I said, yesterday's rain, it is really an exceptional rain that we encountered yesterday, accompanied with severe storm. That really caused the havoc.
So as we speak, how is the situation actually being dealt with in terms of immediate interventions?
Currently, the situation is calm. Like I said, we are on monitoring. Myself and the technical staff of the assembly, together with all the security agencies, are on monitoring, going around to sympathize and assess the situation at the ground. We started last night whilst it was raining. We were able to visit some areas, and this morning we are continuing. As we speak, we are at High Sense shop in Techman and assessing the extent of damage. The various schools that we have visited that got their roof ripped off, we have arranged with the school authorities to, with immediate effect, starting from Tuesday, since Monday is holiday, starting from Tuesday, they should run shift from so that the school calendar will not be disrupted. So the students will come to school. Some will come in the morning from 8 up to 12. Others will continue from 12 up to about 3, 4 thereabouts. Like that, we will not interrupt their classes hours. It is only one school at Tra that the situation was so bad that we could not arrange to have all the schools, the students, joining the shift system to continue the academic work, because their classes virtually all got damaged, and some collapsed, some roofing got ripped off. So what we are saying is that the upper primary and then the JHS should run the shift, and then the lower primary should stay at home for about a week whilst we sit down to look at the situation and the intervention that we can put up across as far as the situation is concerned. So far, I think things are in order. We are putting things in order, and we are in collaboration with all the stakeholders concerned. My MP currently is in Accra. I've spoken with him extensively, Honorable Martin Nigerian Sakonsa, and after this monitoring, we'll put our report together and then have further engagement. Together, we'll see what we can do. We have also arranged for us to have a meeting with PTA at various schools, like that. By next week, we shall engage them and know what we can also do with them to provide necessary intervention to avert the situation on the ground now.
Well, you have been mentioning a number of stakeholders you have been engaging, but I didn't hear from you as far as engagement with NADMO, at least at the district and, a regional level. Hasn't there been any support from NADMO?
NADMO, like I said, we are monitoring. I'm here with NADMO director. We are now assessing the situation and then get back and see what we can do. But as we speak, we have not provided any material support to any of these affected areas yet. Because like I said, when it happened yesterday night, we did some engagement, and those who we could arrange for them to have a space around their neighborhood, they were accommodated, and thankfully none of the schools were in session at the time the rain started. So it is this morning that we are going around. We have gone on a lot of monitoring, and we are still on it. After which we will then sit and then look at what we can do in terms of support to these affected people.
I wish you well. That's Benjamin Eyao Jakun. He is Municipal Chief Executive for Techiman in the Bono East region. But this is still City Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Ni Lati here this afternoon with Eno Safo. Still to come, a group of aggrieved teachers in Lower and Upper Manya Krobo in the Eastern region are up in arms over the failure of NAT to allocate lands to them despite thousands of payments made.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Again, comes back this year. It's time!
And it's a goal!
To the semi-final of the... Oh, no!
Is it? VAR?
The whistle goes!
Goal disallowed? Unbelievable. From the tension in the dugout to the sweat on the field, it all comes together in the studio on Friday night.
Does Don Bote still want to play football? You are 36 years old.
Forget about the age.
We cannot forget about the age, Don. You are 36.
Yeah, 36. You doubt 36. You know me. Forget about the age. What you want to become and do.
Whether it's boxing, athletics, or football, Sports Panorama has you covered. From the prayer of the rabbi to the sound of Donkumi, the most riveting sports show on the airwaves will have you at rapt attention, entertained, and in bouts of laughter from start to finish.
Wofi asina se she anfia ya benimo kotene aye 7 owoka ye komenyo ete dwenu ekpa nyo fe ekononi almost more animal. Yeah, you subscribe. Amen.
Sports Panorama is on 97.3 Citi FM from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. every Friday.
Some call it the big red box. Others call it a treasure trove. Explore or arrange your furniture. Kitia Mall is a real wonderland with a fascinating experience. From the moment you enter, right through to the moment you leave, you will feel inspired. There's so much to see, touch, and feel as you walk through Kitia Mall. We are now open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. each day and 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Sundays. Visit us today off Spinkters Road and explore or arrange your furniture and decor accessories that match your lifestyle needs.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back and thank you for joining us on Citi Prime News, live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka here in Accra. My name is Ni Lati here with Eno Safo. Let's now bring you one of our headline stories and take you to the Eastern region because a group calling itself aggrieved members of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, in the Lower and Upper Manya Krobo municipalities are demanding the immediate refund of monies paid to the leadership of NAT in a supposed arrangement for the acquisition of lands for them at Okwenya. According to Citi News sources, leadership of NAT 5 years ago fronted an arrangement to secure lands at affordable prices for its members in the Lower and Upper Manya Krobo municipalities, but the said lands are yet to be allocated to its members. According to the group, the bad decision by the leadership of NAT to neglect their plea to either allocate the lands to them or refund their monies may force members to embark on a series of demonstrations. Emmanuel Latte Mengel is the lead advocate for the aggrieved teachers.
So our main demand is to get back our money. The money we have paid for the land, it was out of loans. All of us took loans because they were threatening us to pay all the money for the land in full, or we'll pay interest and other money on the 5,500 we were supposed to pay. to the extent that they even threatened to increase it to 6,000. We said we will not pay. Now, our main demand is to get our money back. And we were even proposing, because of the depreciation of the money, of the Citi and inflation and other stuff, they should even pay in addition at least 50% interest on each of the amounts we have paid, because our money value has depreciated. So we are appealing that you help us to get back our money back, because they are not taking us serious. The document I've sent you, they have no idea that we have such a document. I have the privilege in working in the education office in Lower Manya. That's how come I have access to this document long ago. They are not aware I have these two letters, the land letter and the letter the then secretary wrote to the office. So they didn't know I have these documents. That's why they are not minding us. So we are appealing, is the NAT National Executive at the NAT head office who are supposed to pay us this money. So we are appealing to the NAT secretary, the president, because what they are doing to us, as if they don't care about that. They even said we can even go anywhere we want, including court, because they know we cannot afford a lawyer. So we are appealing that we get back our money immediately, as soon as possible.
That was Emmanuel Latte-Mengel, lead advocate for aggrieved teachers in the Lower and Upper Manya Krobo municipalities of the Eastern region.
President Akufo-Addo says years after the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, trading among African countries still remains low. Nana Akufo-Addo says trade within the continent contributes to only 16% of GDP compared to the European Union, which contributes over 90% to the economies. Speaking at the Democratic Union Africa Forum in South Africa, Nana Akufo-Addo says a successful AfCFTA will be beneficial to the African continent.
We have always lamented the low volume of trade between the countries on the continent, which currently stands at some 16% of our combined GDP. And we all know that this is one of the areas in which we have to improve if we are to make progress in bringing prosperity to our peoples. Intra-regional trade in the European Union, for instance, stands at 75% of their combined GDP. An increase in intra-regional trade in Africa is the surest way to develop fruitful relations between our respective countries. It will mean a rapid increase in exchanges of our agricultural, financial, industrial, scientific, and technological products, which will enhance dramatically our attainment of prosperity and the prospects of employment for our populations, particularly our young people. Our economies would then be shaped not by the production and export of raw materials, but by the things we make and grow. According to the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA, the successful implementation of the AfCFTA can annually help increase intra-African trade by 35 billion United States dollars and reduce external imports by 10 billion United States dollars. This will mean more opportunities for growth for our small businesses and the potential to lift millions and millions of people out of extreme poverty.
President Akufo-Addo there.
Now, the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, says it will prosecute the 2 Chinese nationals arrested over illegal connection at Tripoli in the Greater Accra region. According to the ECG, the 2 are directors of an electrical wiring producing company in the Pram municipality, and they are currently in the custody of the National Security. The arrest was after a tip-off by an informant. Following the arrest, the company was disconnected from the national grid and a disconnection notice was served. Ishmael Oku is the manager in charge of revenue protection and technical investigation at the ECG.
On the tip-off given to the managing director of the Electricity Company of Ghana Limited, the revenue protection with the support of the National Security visited the company by name Finis Metals Technology at the Tripoli municipality to inspect their wiring arrangement. To our surprise, they have bypassed their bulk meter and they are only paying for a quarter of what they consume. We have exposed the legality to them. We have served them with an illegal notice and disconnected. As a result, 2 of their directors, Chinese, have been arrested and are in custody with the national security. We want to sound a word of caution to all our customers to desist from any act of illegal connection to enable us serve our customers better. In fact, to delight our customers.
That's manager in charge of revenue protection and technical investigation at the Electricity Company of Ghana, Ishmael Oku.
The Northern Electricity Department Company of the Volta River Authority has restored power to the Upper West Regional Hospital. The hospital was disconnected on Wednesday, April 26, over their failure to pay a 20 million Ghana cedis debt. After a series of negotiations with management of the hospital, modalities have been agreed on to ensure the clearance of the debt. Citi News' Upper West Regional Correspondent Latif Mahama reports.
The VRA Northern Electricity Department on Tuesday, April 18, 2023, commenced a revenue mobilization exercise to retrieve over 50 million Ghana cedis owed it by public and private institutions, as well as individuals in the Upper West region. The Upper West Regional Hospital was among some of the public institutions that suffered disconnection for failing to pay a 20 million Ghana cedis debt it owes the electricity provider.
Yesterday we were here and a group of gentlemen came from NETCO, the Upper West branch of NETCO, and that they were on a revenue mobilization exercise to retrieve money that is owed them. And our facility was one of the facilities that owed them to the tune of over 20 million Ghana cedis. So when they came, we had some discussions, and we reminded them that when the hospital began operating in 2020, we had regularly visited their office to inform them that they needed to separate the 20-unit 3-bedroom staff accommodation from the rest of the hospital. That was not done until just last Friday that they separated. And I'm sure 20 units accommodation, each of them 3-bedroom, consuming power since 2020 without paying, because they were not metered, could have contributed to ballooning the quantum of the debt. So that has been done now, and we regularly forwarded our bills to the Ministry of Health through Ghana Health Service. Last year, the Ministry of Finance paid part of our bill. They paid 8 million Ghana cedis, and we're expecting that similar payments would have been done this year. Unfortunately, this year, no payment has yet come until this disconnection.
Management of the Upper West Regional Hospital have been complaining of the inability of the government to honor its financial obligation to the facility, as they are yet to receive seed capital for the running of the hospital since its commissioning in August 2019. The regional medical director blames the high electricity bills on the design of the ultramodern 160-bed capacity hospital.
The design of our hospital makes it very energy consuming. You agree with me that an ordinary hospital in Ghana, when you go to the wards where patients lie, usually what you see is ceiling fans. That is not the case here. Here, all our wards, everywhere, there is no single ceiling fan in this hospital. Everywhere is air-conditioned, either split air-conditioned or centralized air-conditioned. And I think that is what accounts for the very high energy consumption. It's not like we are very reckless and not trying to conserve power. Where I sit in my office, there is no window. So if not air-conditioned, you cannot do otherwise. So even if I wanted to conserve power, there is no way. So going forward, energy becoming an issue in the country, I think stakeholders have to agree that maybe our hospital needs redesigning so that wherever we have patients, if instead of air conditions we have fans, here is it also that we are not allowed to levy patients outside approved fees usually by Parliament and for that matter, Ghana National Health Insurance Authority. So we cannot on our own levy patients that when you come in here, you have to pay this amount or that amount for electricity.
The Upper West Regional Hospital is the major referral center for the inhabitants of the region and beyond. City News checks revealed that the facility operates on a close to 500 air conditioners and some high electricity consuming equipment. Though the hospital is reconnected to the national grid, management is appealing for urgent support from the government to save the facility from collapse, as the 1.2 million Ghana cedis monthly electricity bill is way higher than the monthly internal revenue of the hospital. Management of the VRA-NED were not available for comments at the time of filing this report.
Staff and patients at the Upper West Regional Hospital can now heave a sigh of relief as the facility is now connected to the national grid. Reporting for City News, my name is Latif Mahama.
From the Upper West region, let's come down to the Bono region, because the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO, in the region says its revenue mobilization exercise is yielding positive results as institutions and individuals have shown commitment to paying outstanding arrears. NEDCO has disconnected power to the District Magistrate Court B in the Sunyani municipality, the Ghana Water Company Limited, fire service offices in Bichim and others. The Billing and Revenue Protection Officer for Sunyani, Augustine Aklogo, tells City News modalities have been drafted to aid institutions clear their debts.
So far, it has been, let's say, impressive in a way, because those who were not making efforts to pay, we know some institutions, the government pays for them, but at times they have to submit the bills. Others will just collect the bill and push it aside. So with this exercise, we have seen that so many of the institutions have been able to push to get those monies for us. We disconnected the STU as a technical university in Sunyani. We disconnected the district high court, circuit court in Sunyani, Brekum, Doma. We disconnected a Holy Family Hospital, Brekum. We disconnected water company, fire service. We disconnected fire service in Bichim, Goso. But after yesterday, most of them came and we had some agreement with them. They came and we raised their statements for them, give them demand notice, and they promised paying by next week. Some of them have already made some payments, and we recollected. The hospitals, especially the mission hospitals that are not governmental, most of them have come, they have made some payments, and we reconnected. We have a SDA hospital in Sunyani here. They were owing over 40,000. They made a payment of 50,000. We reconnected, and they promised by next week they will make two of the other interpretations what they owe.
Augustine Aklogo is the Billing and Revenue Protection Officer for Sunyani in the Bono region.
In other news, Chief Justice Kwesi Anini-Yeboah is urging staff of the Judicial Service to be fair and honest in the delivery of justice. The Chief Justice, who was speaking at the commissioning of 2 court premises in Gomoa Central and Aguna East, said as ambassadors of the court, the staff of the service play an important role in ensuring a good image for the judiciary. Justice Anini-Yeboah believes that the siting of the district court in the areas will reduce the turnaround time in the provision of justice.
Today, we are instilling in the judicial service even higher standards of professional conduct. We are demanding accountable service and integrity from all officers around the country. As we've grown as a society, we have engineered ways in which we can assist the less well-off in our society to access justice. Through our judicial reforms, we are facilitating greater access to justice for the most vulnerable of our compatriots, including the physically challenged and those already incarcerated. Today, we celebrate another way in which we expand the frontiers of justice in our country. This court, a modern district court right here, in Afansi opens a most welcome avenue for the people of this great town to have justice wherever they need it. Through this court, we will be able to ensure that fewer people have to resort to extrajudicial avenue for seeking redress and resolving disputes. Through this court, we can allow more and more people to see justice being dispensed at close range and thus build confidence and inspire trust. It is my hope that this court is able to do all that and more.
Chief Justice Kwesi Anin Yeboah there. The district chief executives for Gomoa Central and Agona East, Benjamin Kojotu and Janet Odair Pencil, tell Citi News how the courts will be of benefit to the residents.
Justice is now close to us. People do not need to travel distances to seek for justice. Maybe a walking distance, you can seek justice. And then also, I think that even in terms of assembly, enforcement of our bylaws will be very easy for us. Because we don't have the courts, usually enforcement of the laws has become difficult because we have to travel distances and sometimes disincentive because even fines are not referred to the assembly. And I believe that with this one here, most of the people who go foul to the law will have a place to seek justice and redress, and the enforcement of the law will become easier for us as well.
We are therefore grateful for the timely provision of the court as it will function to maintain rule of law, provide equal protection, enhance social order, and ensure due process of law. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to use this opportunity to thank Nananom for joining us today, more especially for giving out their land for this project. I hope we can count on the cooperation from the various security agencies who would serve us with this distinction on peacekeeping duties, thereby encouraging the people of Agona East to earn the trust of the court.
You heard the district chief executives for Gomoa Central and Agona East, Benjamin Kojotu and Janet Odair Pencil.
You are still listening to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. Still ahead, government fails to honor its promise of settling all outstanding debts owed individual bondholders. If you do stay with us, we get to hear from the Pensioner Bondholders Forum.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
No power. Another season of the Citi FM Family Consecration is here again. Your family radio station invites you to the 2023 edition of the Family Consecration Service. Let's hold ourselves in readiness as we prepare for a time of divine renewal, visitation, and restoration for our families and loved ones. Join us on Monday, 1st of May, 2023 at the Winners Chapel, Ghana, Accra, near the OA Bus Terminal Circle as we intercede and commit our families to God. It's going to be a 6-hour intense moment of prayer time for families from 6 a.m. till 12 noon. Come and let us reinforce the resurrection power of Christ, which ensures our forgiveness, healing, business breakthroughs and open doors, sound and prosperous marriages, divine blessings in career and destiny fulfillment over our families. There will also be a time for the renewal of vows for married couples. The 2023 Family Consecration Service is powered by 97.3 Citi FM with support from Citi TV. As always, the family that prays together stays together.
Kofi, Kwame, you know, I know, Ajua knows. Even Brima said it yesterday that millions of Ghanaians are taking the COVID-19 vaccines, and they all say it is the right thing to do. It is safe, so take your ID and go to the nearest health facility
or any COVID-19 vaccination center
to get the jab. It will protect you from being knocked down by the disease or even going on admission. Protect yourself and protect your family. If you had the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, then you can go for the booster shot after your first dose. The vaccines are there, they are safe, and they are free. Protect yourself, protect your family, protect your community. The COVID-19 vaccine reduces the severity of the disease and prevents hospitalization.
This message is brought to you by Ghana Health Service. Good life, live it well. USAID and partners.
OneXBet. Easy betting, easy winnings.
OneXBet, reliable bookmaker that offers you a huge range of bonuses, great odds, and many chances to win. Register now on onexbet.com.gh and use promo code PLAY1 to get 300% bonus up to 3,445 Ghana cedis on your first deposit. OneXBet gives you more. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
Again, comes back to share. It's time!
And it's a goal!
To the semi-final of the... Oh, no!
Is it? VAR?
Whistle goes!
Goal disallowed? Unbelievable. From the tension in the dugout to the sweat on the field, it all comes together in the studio on Friday night.
Does Don Bote still want to play football? You are 36 years old. Forget about the age. We cannot forget about the age, Don. You are 36.
Yeah, 36. You doubt 36. You forget about the age. What you want to become and do.
Whether it's boxing, athletics, or football, Sports Panorama has you covered. From the prayer of the rabbi to the sound of Donkumi, the most riveting sports show on the airwaves will have you at rapt attention, entertained, and in bouts of laughter from start to finish.
No, Martinelli. No, Anfield. Wofi asna se she anfia ya benu mokoteni aye 7 owoka ye komenyu ete dwenu e pa anyo fe ekononi almost more haniba yeah use bab amen.
Sports Panorama is on 97.3 Citi FM from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. every Friday.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Grateful that you stayed. Now, the Attorney General and the Minister for Justice, Godfred Yeboah-Dame, has raised concerns with the jury system in the country. His worry follows a decision by the jury in the murder case of former NPP Upper East Regional Chairman Alhaji Adams Mahama, in which accused persons Gregory Afoko and Asaki Alangdi were on trial. The jury reached a unanimous guilty verdict for Mr. Alangdi for conspiracy to commit crime, murder rather, whilst at the same time delivering a hung verdict of 4-3 in the case of Gregory Afoko on the same charge. According to the Attorney General, steps are being taken to remedy this challenge confronting the jury system in Ghana. In a press statement, Godfred Yeboah-Dame cautioned members of the public, including lawyers, to be guided accordingly and desist from comments which have an undue tendency to jeopardize a sound and efficient administration of justice. Meanwhile, Amnesty International has reiterated its calls on government to adequately resource Parliament to enable them to get the death penalty removed from the country's statutory books. The call follows the sentencing of Mr. Alangdi, one of the accused persons in the murder of a former NPP regional chairman, to death by hanging. Speaking to Citi News, Director of the Amnesty International Ghana, Genevieve Pattington, said Parliament must, as a matter of urgency, take steps to repeal the death sentence in the law books.
So for us, like I said, in general, regardless of his economic or social status, this has come to the media because he is part of a very popular political party. But nevertheless, people are always sentenced to death on a daily basis. There are quite a number of persons that commit murder, and under the Criminal Offences Act, that is the procedure. However, for Amnesty, we are against the death penalty. We've always been against it. And we have been campaigning for its abolishment, which is currently in the process in Parliament. So hopefully the parliamentarians, I'm very sure, will be considering the bill once again, and it will be passed. Currently, Ghana is abolitionist de facto. That means we sentence persons to death, we do not execute. since 1993, we have not been carrying out any executions. So based on this, we're still going to work behind the scenes and make sure that the death penalty is abolished, hopefully by the end of this year. We are counting on it. We met with some of the judges at the office of the Chief Justice, and yes, the Attorney General is absolutely right. The judicial system has to go for a review. They've done a memo on certain parts of the criminal code that need to be amended, especially regarding murder convictions, where we need to recategorize murder convictions, because a lot of the convictions point to death penalties, and it has to be reviewed so that either life imprisonment or lesser sentences are given.
That was the director of Amnesty International Ghana, Genevieve Partington.
Now, government has reneged on its promise to settle all outstanding debt obligations towards individual bondholders as promised. Since February 2023, principals and coupons have been outstanding on 22 bonds issues amounting to over 1 billion cedis. A joint technical committee was tasked to agree on a pathway on the payment of outstanding coupons and principals by today, April 28. Citi News' checks reveal that government has failed to make payment. Consequently, the Pensioner Bondholders Forum, a group that was exempted from the Domestic Debt Exchange Program, has served notice to the police to resume picketing at the Finance Ministry from Monday, May 1, to demand the payment of their coupons. Dr. Du Ananientri is the convener for the Pensioner Bondholder Forum.
We gave the government up to 28 April to pay us all our outstanding coupons and principals. Today is 28 April. We haven't heard anything from government. Consequently, we have sent notification to the police. We have to give the police some notice. We have notified the police that we shall resume our picketing from Monday, 8 May. We'll do the picketing during the same hours, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock in the morning, each working day. We will continue to be there when we start on the 8th May and continue every day, every working day, until all these payments are made and payments are returned to normalcy. That is what we are going to do.
That was the convener for the Pensioner Bondholders Forum, Dr. Du Ananientri.
Away from that, and a teacher union, All Teachers Alliance Ghana, ATAG, is advocating for the decentralization of the operations of the Ghana Education Service with regards to promotions and transfers. The union says the current centralization of such functions is causing a great disservice to teachers who will have to travel from far to get access to these services. Speaking to Citi News ahead of the May Day celebration, the national chairman of ATAG, Isaac Ofori, says the development is creating tension, hence the need for GES to have it changed.
Is to ensure that our promotion, the decentralization, which was helping teachers to be able to get access to management, access promotion, access transfers, all has been taken to, everything has been centralized. So now, if you want promotion, they will tell you, go to Accra. If you want recruitment, go to Accra. And we believe that the manner the system has been functioning now is going to promote a lot of corruption that the government claimed that the corruption was taking place at the district education offices. And because of that, they wanted to take the corruption from there and now centralize everything. Now, everything that has been centralized is creating a lot of pressure and frustration for teachers.
Well, ATAG is also appealing to the GES to review its teacher promotion schemes.
Is to ensure that our promotions are made smoothly. It shouldn't be limited to teach for 5 years before you are promoted. No, it shouldn't be limited to go and write the examination before you are promoted. It should be limited to, professional development and also, any achievement, any researchable achievement that can promote the sector should be identified and be promoted so that teachers can work hard and get themselves promoted so that they can be put on a fine or better salary going forward.
That was the national chairman of the All Teachers Alliance Ghana, ATAG, Isaac Ofori.
The National Teaching Council is urging proprietors and heads of schools to utilize the service of licensed teachers not employed in the public sector rather than engaging the services of SHS graduates. This, the council says, will help ensure that school children are in proper care. The comment comes on the back of a training program the Teaching Council intends to embark on to issue authorization certificates to non-professional teachers in both private and public schools. Speaking to Citi News, Deputy Registrar in charge of operations at the National Teaching Council, Lawrence Sapon, advised proprietors to recruit licensed teachers.
Even if the private schools, the proprietors want to rely on licensed teachers, we still have a number of licensed teachers that have not been recruited, which they can rely on them. The era of bringing the SHS graduates on board to teach, sometimes let's ask ourselves, how do you feel if somebody who is waiting for his or her WASI result is the one handling your child in the school? How will you feel? It makes it very difficult for us to tell whether the person or the child is safe in such people's hands. So going forward, we are encouraging the proprietors to also rely on the services of teachers who have been licensed but were not recruited by the public sector so that they can engage them rather than engaging the SHS people. And that is not the only people called people teachers. Let's say Akusia Mansa went to university to study BSc Economics. Economics is a teaching subject in the senior high school. But for us, Akusia Mansa did not do Bachelor of Education in Economics. Akusia Mansa, if you want to come to the teaching profession, is non-professional teacher. And because of that, Akusia Mansa would need to go through a training.
Lawrence Sapong's Deputy Registrar in charge of operations at the National Teaching Council.
Moving on, the Municipal Chief Executive for the Katsina Nankana Municipality in the Upper East Region, Joseph Adongo, has revealed that the body of one of the teenagers who drowned in the Volta Lake is yet to be retrieved. The teenager Nathaniel Baba is among the 3 teenagers who got drowned on April 15, 2023, when they went swimming in the lake, even though the others have been found. Nathaniel is still missing. The MCE has been speaking to Citi News.
No, as we speak, the body has not been found yet. And I think the families, the community, they have given up on the search. Because, it happened along the river, so it is believed possibly the body has been carried away or something like that. So the body has not been found up till now. Yeah, I have visited the parents and they are calm. They seem to have accepted what has happened. Though sad, they are managing with it. And I don't see so much crying or grief again. So it's calm. It's calm. We have zonal coordinators. So when it happened, they gave the report, and then they have gone there. They have visited the place. When you are visiting there, it means you are just going to the house you are going to the parents. Yes, because they have given up on the search.
Joseph Adongo is the Municipal Chief Executive for Katsina Nankana Municipality in the Upper East Region. And that does it for today's edition of Citi Prime News, which came to you live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka in Accra. The bulletin was also live across the country on our affiliates around the world on citinewsroom.com. For more news, please log on to our website, citinewsroom.com. My name is Ni Lati. This afternoon, I was here with
Inu Safo.
Many thanks indeed for your company. Do have a pleasant afternoon.
Citi News. We speak first. Reach our hotline